Namaste Saraswate Devi Gaurani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavati Paschatya Vishatarine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gaurani Pracharine Nirvishesha
Ucce Shavasam Ashwanam Vidhimam Amritodbhavam Airavatam Gajendranam Naranam cha Naradipam. Of horses know me to be Ucheshavad, who rose out of the ocean, born of the elixir of immortality. Of lordly elephants I am Airavata, and among men I am the monarch. So everybody knows about Samudra Manthan. What happened? Krishna proposed the Devatas that you call the Danavas and both of you together churn the milk ocean. And they put a lot of plants, herbs, so many things in it, and they churn. And then what do you get? You get nectar. First came poison actually. And then the poison was what to do with the poison. It was very dangerous. And who drank the poison? Lord Shiva. And then next, nectar. And out of the nectar, various entities came out. A special horse came out. A special elephant came out. And because they came out of nectar, therefore Krishna, they are special. So Krishna says, I am that. Okay, you understand. And the next thing discussed here is that Krishna is saying, among men, I am the monarch. Now, what is this monarch being referred to in this? Krishna says, which is better? Monarchy is better? Democracy is better? Communism better? How do we understand? Suppose there is a choice. First thing is that we have to have responsible people. If the people are not responsible, and none of the system will work. Like, suppose we have 100 dogs in the room. You try monarchy, democracy, nothing will work. They will simply bark. So first thing is that people have to participate. Any system you implement. What's wrong with the communism is that it tried to make all people classless. But different people have different nature. You cannot make one. Okay? It is not possible. You cannot make one. All the people cannot be made into one kind because people are of different nature. And it failed. You say it doesn't matter whatever profession you do, you will get the same salary, it will fail. Because common man cannot follow Nishkam Karma Yoga. What is he following? Sakam Karma Yoga. You cannot put him suddenly on a category where he'll work just for as a service to the society. And whatever he gets, he will be happy. Correct? It will not be possible. People will not work for that. That's a communist principle. Doesn't matter you're a driver, you are a professor, you are a businessman, anything. You should get the same salary. This will work? No, people will not work on this system. And therefore communism failed. And today you see just remnants of that are remaining. And it's a joke. China calls itself communist, but so many billionaires are there. The very principle of communism is dismantled now. Okay? It only remains in name. And Russia also, it failed. People are very, very poor under the system. Correct? It does not work. There is no incentive to work. A great man can work as a duty for the society, but that only can come in Satoguna. This kind of a thing doesn't work. Next system let us analyze is democracy, which Prabhupada never liked. He called it demon goes crazy. That is democracy. Demon goes crazy. So why democracy is bad? What is the problem with democracy? Is that people are not qualified to vote. System is of voting. Nothing wrong with the system of voting. It's a good system. But people should be qualified to vote. Correct? We know that the amount of money which is distributed in every election. And lakhs of crores money is distributed just to get. Correct? They give every family 1,000, 2,000 rupees. Give me 8 votes, 6 votes. It's open all around India. Total cheating. Why such a system can work? Because people are not qualified to vote. Somebody gives 500 rupees, he'll give vote. So but that doesn't work. Democracy. Because everything has to be known by result. We see the kind of leaders we produce in communism, the kind of leaders we produce in democracy. It's crazy. So the system is also a failure. Among all, if you see in the history in the Vedas, you read the Shastra, always you never find the communism or democracy. Correct? We always find kings. Always find a king. Prabhupada says sometimes, at least one person is crazy, here thousands go crazy. Monarchy. If the same man has to rule, suppose one person has to rule, among all systems, monarchy will be best for him. Because he gets freedom to work. He does not have to bother every 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years that he has to again do election. Correct? He is a monarch for good. And he can apply himself to do what he wants to do. He gets freedom. Now the problem with the democracy is that the king, that even as a leader you have to satisfy the masses. Suppose the leader says no playing games, then not give vote. Correct? And no movies, no vote then. So even though actually Prabhupada says a good leader has to sometimes dissatisfy the masses. He doesn't have to entertain the public. Now this becomes very bad because in democracy, the leader cannot work against the society. And to build consensus in the whole country becomes mad. It's just not possible. Just not. Because therefore you see every time they try, why every leader has to come to media and explain? He has to build consensus in society, which is impossible. So many minds, so many people, they have so many crazy ideas. So democracy is also not practical. The problem in monarchy is that power corrupts. They say power corrupts, absolute power absolutely corrupts. So what we need is that we need to create such people that they don't get corrupted by power. Then monarchy will be successful. How the monarchy will be successful? How? You create such people, you train such people that even if they get all the power of the whole earth, they don't get corrupted. So this is what actually the monarchy went. And we had, Prabhupada's listing in the Shastra, we had many, many kings like that in the history. We had Lord Rama, this famous, the Lord Ramaraja. We had Parikshit Maharaj. Then we had Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, all were kings. And they were exemplary kings. Yudhishthira Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj finally. The last emperor, we can say, was Parikshit Maharaj, who ruled the whole earth. Exemplary. And they were not he. There are so many kings before that who ruled so well. So these were the wonderful kings, and the monarchy the best. But then there was the element of democracy also in that, because of how the monarch got elected. It was the vote of the sages. The society had a council of sages who were very pure, and they were doing free service to the country. They were not paid. They were doing free service. And they used to make a judgment. Yes, this person should rule. Just like Prabhupada talks about the Pandavas and the Kaurava Mahabharata time. He said Krishna chose that Yudhishthira Maharaj should rule. He said that is one vote. That is how the vote should be. Correct? A qualified person with proper judgment gives a vote. Yes, he should rule. So this is the combination. So Vedic culture is neither, you can say, monarchy, neither democracy. It's a combination in one sense. Because there is an element of voting there. Not that father, son, no. There is the element. There is an example is given in Bhagavatam of King Vena. His father was Anga, who ran away from the kingdom because of he was not satisfied with his son, whose son was so crooked. He got fed up. He was trying to train and give to the country a good king, his own son, but the son was crazy. He abandoned him and he left for his spiritual culture. The whole kingdom first searched for Anga. He was such a nice king. Kings used to be so special. And not only in their strength, in their administrative qualities, personal qualities, the people used to cry when the king used to depart. Okay? Today, there may be some politicians who die. When they are dying, they think, how the country will run without me. There are some politicians like that. But the reality is that country runs very nicely without them. They are good for nothing. So anyway, so these kings were very, very nice, very special. And when Anga went, whole kingdom cried and they searched for the king. Where has he gone? Then they came to the sages. They said that because there is no king, there is so much looting, everything going on. Please do something. So what does he do? The sages said, okay, we'll do something. He had a son who was very devilish. They said, at least one thing is good. If you can let us give him a chance, he's son of that great king. Seeing him, at least the looting and all will start. All the plunderers will stop. They all stopped because he was very cruel. He took all the power in his hand. But later what happened? He started blaspheming against true religion. He started making bhedi ghoshe in a bharasha. He made some kind of a announcement in every village and town. What is that? Stop all worship. Worship me. So the sages say, what is the nonsense? Why you should worship him? They went to the king. They gave him advice. See, why you have made such an announcement? Let us continue our task. He said, no, you people are so crazy. I am the one maintaining you. And you people worship some God. Where is that God? I am God. So they became very upset and hurt at such a proposal. Correct? Many people have such kind of ideas today. So they cursed him to death. And he died. Okay. So we see that the sages were actually involved in seeing who is a good king, and they used to be always, even though their business is not to participate in politics, but they were involved in selecting who can rule. Actually, they were extremely capable. They can do rule better than the king, but they're not interested in that. They have better things to do. King is basically who's desiring power and money. He's best suited for that job. But true, in the Vedic culture, we also have Rajarshi. Evam parampara praptam imam Rajarshi. They were just ruling as a matter of duty. So it's a very big responsibility because they were making decisions on behalf of the Lord. So suppose you make a decision, and then what happens is that following you, it is exactly what the Shastra says. The person gets total protection. But today what happens, you can follow the king and do the greatest sinful activity. Just like you can smoke and drink today. It is legal. It's allowed. Correct? You will not be arrested. So following such a government, you may be following such a government at the same time you do the greatest sinful activity. Correct? You can eat meat, you can eat beef, you can do whatever you want. It's not at all considered sinful. Prabhupada says The society in the name of freedom, they're becoming crazy. Because more we act according to the guidance, just like when you act according to the guidance of the doctor, you'll become cured. It's for your good. So similarly, the guidance of Shastra, if it is followed, we become slowly, Prabhupada says in the 4th chapter, slowly the society will be saved from the harassment of all the unwanted desires. People will become really peaceful and happy if they follow a good king. Feel very peaceful and happy. But today what happened? The government promotes, encourages. Government is the one running lotteries nowadays. The biggest source of income for the government is arak, the liquor. Some government banned it and now they're in trouble because the whole budget is from this liquor. Okay? You see that? The huge amount of taxation actually. See, ethanol that doesn't cost much. Just put some flavor and brand and bottle, they sell for such a high rate. Why? Because it's a huge revenue for the government. So the government itself is actually trapped between the various vices. So what good it can do? But the real monarch exactly follows the rules according to Manusmriti, according to the Shastra. Then what happens? That if he punishes somebody, its sinful activity is over. But if the so-called government, in the name of freedom, in the name of liberalism, in the name of modernization, does not punish a culprit for a crime, then what happens? Severe punishment is waiting. He cannot escape the laws of the Lord. You understand? Just like a king, somebody has done a murder, he gives him death penalty, actually relieving him from that karma, because the karma will come in a ghastly way otherwise. Okay? So in this way, actually the king is just acting according to the directions of the Lord, and the society worships him as Naradeva because they see him, his directions, his personal example, his rule, the way he's protecting the citizens and all that. They see him as God, representation of God. And actually it is true. It should be true because this earth belongs to Krishna. Every part of earth belongs to Krishna. If we are ruling, we have to rule on behalf of the Lord. Nothing belongs to us. Correct? You understand? Just like a temple belongs to the Lord. It is not of us. So everything should be done in such a way that it actually follows the guidance of the Lord. Then it is perfect. Otherwise we have no right. What right we have to govern any place? The same way the king has a right to govern a country on behalf of the Lord. He knows this country belongs to the Lord. The citizens belong to the Lord, and I have a duty as a king on behalf of the Lord to see people are following God's direction. That is a king. But today, totally irresponsible. They think there's the father's property. Mostly they involved in acute sinful activities, mostly leaders. Actually, common mass of people are very simple. Anywhere, any part of the world. It's the leaders who are great demons. They take control of the power. And they are not duty bound. They don't have no idea. Actually, this word belongs to God, not mine. I have to have some duty on behalf of the Lord. They have no picture to see like that. In fact, Bhagavatam says the governments in Kali Yuga will be very strange. What? He said there are two kind of thieves. One is a small thief. What he will do? He'll come steal from your pocket, pickpocket. But one is called Dasyu. Now Mangalore also is happening. Should be carefully protected. A lot of news come like that. People enter with weapons. Recently it happened at Kadri temple. They enter some house or pujari with weapons. No, Katil temple, not Kadri, the Katil temple. It was the big news. And then they said to give us everything, and somebody doesn't give the beater very badly. So it's more and more dangerous. So Dasyu means they'll come and plunder you. They'll take everything. Pickpocket, okay, we'll take a purse. You lose some 100,000 rupees. That's all. But Dasyu means he'll enter your house and pick up everything, including your family, and leave you with nothing. That's called Dasyu, plunderer. Bhagavatam compares the government of Kali Yuga as Dasyu, plunderers. It's like, instead of why do pickpocket? Because system is democracy. Easily it can be exploited. The people giving vote are all fools. You manipulate the system. Instead of looting from the pickpocket, become the government and loot now. 30%, 40% tax, and all the money goes inside their pocket. Correct? and they cheat so badly. And the all common man is therefore this very unfortunate situation. Anyway, now what do we do? We cannot change. We cannot say, okay, democracy is not good, monarchy is not good, communism is not good, let us take to Vedic system, which is a combination. Prabhupada said it is also communism, because everybody is potentially as spiritual soul, spiritual communism. Everybody should get equal opportunity to serve Krishna. That way, spiritual communism operates. All the three are combined in the Vedic culture. But then, you cannot change the system today. They will not agree to come to Vedic system. Correct? Vedic system is not monarchy, which people understand. No, there is an election. Vedic system is not democracy, because fools are not allowed to vote. Somebody smoking, drinking is not allowed to vote. Therefore, Prabhupada says in Bhagavatam, there were no political rallies in Vedic times. What is the use of fools collecting together? They will only do riots. That's what happens every time. Vedic system, there was a congregation of whom? Sages. That's why Naimisharanya, lakhs of sages collected together to hear about Krishna. That kind of people coming together is useful. Sages used to gather. There is no point in collecting fools. They're like collecting animals. No. So sages used to collect, and they used to think of the welfare of the public. That is recommended in the Vedic culture. So what do we do now in this situation? We cannot bring the Vedic culture back today in one stage. The Vedic system. What do we do? We have to live within this democracy today. Then how do you work within that? In democracy, the problem is the leaders are bad. Then how do you change the leaders? You have to change the public. So therefore, we cannot go like King Ashoka or somebody. They could give total transformation to the king was transformed. Correct? Ashoka became Buddhist. The whole kingdom under him became Buddhist. He promoted that. But today, they will not, because people are electing. So what do you do? Go to the public. Then what do you do with the public? Make them devotees. Then what happens when the public become devotees? Then they will elect a Mahabhagavata as a leader. And then whole world will change. This is what we can do in Kali Yuga, and that is what is recommended. Srila Prabhupada ki, Bhagavad Gita ki.